you take one look at me and you guys are going, oh, God, it's another one of those salubrious health nuts trying to teach us to run. Yeah, that's not my intention today. Do you have a favorite speaker? Like a mentor or a role model or somebody that you just love to listen to? And somebody maybe because, well, first of all, you can't help but like them because they're doing the kind of things you want to do, they're living the kind of life you want to live. They're treating other people the way that, let's face it, you would like to be able to treat other people. Do you have one of those, Steve?
Sure.
Who's yours?
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, seriously, good for you. Chrissy, any?
Earl Nightingale.
I'm sorry?
Earl Nightingale.
I don't know Earl.
Nope. He's like the grandfather of
Nice. Anyone else have somebody that they look forward up to?
Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss? Very good. Well, thank you, Dearman. And I heard somebody say Ed Tate. Thanks, Ed. The reason why you like them is because they inspire you. They actually make everything seem kind of fun, don't they? I mean, they really know how to draw the humor out of life, how to draw the funny out of life. And that is why we love them. And as speakers, as writers, humor is really very important. Because humor not only gets people's attention, humor actually adds to their retention. People will listen to you if you've got some humor, and people will also remember the information that you're giving them if you use some humor. It's a very effective communication tool. Now, I know most of you are looking at it and going, well, Vince, my life isn't really that funny. I'm here to show you exactly how to find the humor in your own lives. And you're probably going, well, what qualifies you to do that? What are your props, dude? Well, I was born in and I was born in Washington, D.C. So basically, let's face it, I'm going to be a comedian in Washington, D.C. That's where the funniest stuff in the world comes out of, isn't it? Actually, I was born while my father was in medical school there. I was the first child born into what was going to become a very small Irish Catholic family. Only 7 kids. Eventually, we moved to Colorado, and all throughout grade school, I was a year younger than all the other kids, so I got bullied pretty mercilessly. And because of that, I developed a skill that really served me well. I developed a sense of humor. I realized that if you got out there and you got the bullies laughing, it was a little harder for them to beat on you. So I got them laughing all the time. When I got a little bit older, I realized I could actually take this self-defense mechanism that I had taught myself, that I had honed over many, many years, and turn it into a career. I went out on the road. I was a stand-up comedian and improv performer. I traveled for 25 years all over this beautiful country, from Florida up to Alaska, and 3 trips overseas, entertaining our troops. Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing better in life than actually getting out there and making people feel better. It's really a wonderful thing. So let's see if that's good enough props for you, then I'll try to show you guys how to do it as well. Now, I've got some toolkits here. These are toolkits which will show you everything you need to know. If you could take one of these and pass them around, you don't necessarily need them right now, but you can use them a little bit later on in our presentation. All right, I am going to show you the tools that you need to find comedy in your lifetime. Now, these are the tools. Now, shh, don't share this with anyone. It's a secret. This is comedy stuff it's password and secret handshake protected. Okay, so it just stays in this room, goes nowhere beyond this, all right? Here are the tools for doing comedy, writing jokes, finding humor. First of all, you guys are just speakers. You're not in a comedy club, so you don't have to worry about any pressure being put on you. In a comedy club, people expect you to make them laugh every 10 seconds. As a speaker, the pressure really is off. The audiences are very, very forgiving. However, one of the most important things I feel is to keep jokes short. The shorter the better, okay? Always the shorter the better. The normal joke setup is a premise, a setup, and a punchline. I'll explain that a little bit more in detail when we get into our interactive portion where I have you look into your own lives. The number one tool, which is the easiest one, is exaggeration. Exaggeration. For example, you did a table topics about waiting at the DMV the other day. How long did you wait in that line?
Forever.
Yeah, see? Don't just say forever. Forever, exaggerate. Really, really make it long. And when you exaggerate, don't just go a little bit forever. Go for the big time. Oh man, I was at the DMV. I waited there so long, I missed my daughter's puberty. You know, so when you exaggerate, really go far beyond. Make everything bigger, make everything taller, make everything wider, make everything deeper. The second one, another really easy one, wordplay or puns. In the English language, we have so many words that mean more than one thing. It's a lot of fun. I call these dad jokes, and the reason why is, when I was a kid, we'd be driving with my dad. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, look at that cemetery. People are dying to get in there. Hence, dad jokes. These things are easy, they're kind of cheap, but you know, what the heck? We're speakers, and they almost always get a laugh, even that really bad one you guys laughed at. The third one, this is the most common you'll hear among stand-up comedians, is twisting the joke or the reversal, what I like to call the old switcheroo. Now basically what you're doing is comedy is based on surprise. When you surprise somebody, oh! And if it's a good surprise, they laugh. And if it's a bad surprise, they go, ugh. But you surprise them. So, all comedy comes from leading someone down a path where they think they're going and then taking it in a different direction. Okay? For example, an old friend of mine, someone I used to write for, used to do a joke about the Sturgis motorcycle rally. And it went like this. That's Sturgis, those people are so disgusting. Anybody recognize the name? Roseanne Barr. Those people are so disgusting. They got long, greasy hair and tobacco juice dripping off their beard. And the men were even worse. In a switcheroo, this is where what comedians call the rule of threes comes in. Now, why 3? Because you want to keep it short. 3 is the minimum number where you can establish a pattern and then deviate from it. You see what I mean? Like this really bad joke that I wrote the other day. What's a Cuba Libre? Well, Cuba Libre is rum and Coke and a revolution against an authoritarian regime. So what you do is you think you're going in the right direction, they're giving you the recipe to a drink, and then you just twist it, and you go in a different direction. The rule of threes. When Roseanne actually did that joke, she had 4. You can do that. The rule of threes can be broken, that's fine, especially if you really want to establish a line. And then when you deviate from them, these people are even more entrenched in moving in that line. All right, self-deprecation. Self-deprecation is really valuable. And for example, when I came up, I brought attention to myself. It's one of these things, somebody's gonna notice it, why not bring it up? It disarms the whole room. Everybody in the room isn't sitting there going, I wonder if he knows he's fat. Bring it up, okay? Bring it up and get it out of the way right off the bat. Malaprops are very easy to use. I love malaprops. The English language is amazing. You can use malaprops in other languages, however, they're the most common in the English language because it's so complex. Malaprops is using a word in a totally wrong way. There was a comedian named Norm Crosby that used to do this all the time. He was very, very funny. Or Archie Bunker. You recall in the show, Archie Bunker goes, it's that kind of, what do you call, fig leaf of your imagination. So it's using a word in the wrong way. And the most important thing in comedy, timing. Timing is the most important thing. Timing almost always means a pause. And I've done that joke before about being from the Irish Catholic family. Boy, I just jumped into there and went almost 7 kids. If you wait for that, it sells it a lot better. So the timing is very, very important. Now, you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have anything to write about. What could I possibly be doing here? Dan, let's just mind your life a little bit. Yesterday, did you have a task you had to do?
I did.
What did you do? What'd you have to do?
You really want to know?
Absolutely.
I filed a report with the court because I was a special master.
Did you hear that? Dan filed a report with the court because of what?
My special master report on a big project.
Come up here, Dan.
Oh.
Dan had a task. Dan's task was to file a report. What kind of report was that, Dan?
It was a special master report.
It was a what?
Special master report.
Oh, so not just a plain old ordinary
It was
master
special.
report. Yeah, I was going to say. Once you've said master, doesn't that usually cover everything? But still, no, that's fine. A special master report. So you had to, not only, it's not just that, it's a special master report. And this master report, when was it due?
Well,
Was it
it's
due
on-
yesterday?
Well, it was due as soon as I could get it done.
So it was late. Okay, very good. And this report was for what purpose? What was the result of this report going to be?
It was a report on all my findings that I've done over the last several months.
All your findings when you were finding for what? What were you studying that you needed to find?
I was reviewing a condominium up in Vail that had gone bad. And so it had been totally messed up. The state came in and had to buy it. The state owned the land, and all these owners, these private owners, owned the condominiums themselves that went bad.
Okay, I think we've got it.
Yes.
All right. You guys were all enraptured in that, and that's good. So it was about condominiums and stuff in order to find out what damage and bad stuff had been done and fix it.
Right.
Basically, your task was to do this report so somebody could take something that was wrong and take it and fix it, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you write.
Okay.
Okay? Now, when you say you've got to file something, what does that mean? When you have a task to do, take the task and write a list of words that that have something to do with that task. Now, filing. Filing could be filing your nails. So write that down next to filing. Filing your nails, or putting something into folders and sticking them in a drawer. Or what else about filing? Anybody?
Computer files.
What's that?
Computer files.
Computer files, very good.
Smoothing wood.
Smoothing wood with a file, very good. See, think out of the bottle. Anybody else can think of anything you can do with a file? Or anything that has to do with files?
X-Files.
X-Files, I love it. And a report. Now, Dan had to do a special master report. Now, I'd actually break those down. I'd go, first of all, I'd make a list of things for a report. What are reports? A report is the sound a gun makes. They call that a report. What other kind of things?
Book report.
Book report, very good. Dan, what about you? Think of anything for report?
Sure, court report.
Court report, okay, yeah.
Report card.
Absolutely, that works for me. And special, what do you think of when you think of special?
Education.
Education, special education. It's a party, it's special, what?
Vince.
You think of Vince as special? Aren't you nice? Thank you very much. And master, how about master? Kind of words for master.
The key master.
Toast. Toast.
How about you, Dan?
Toastmaster.
This is all for you, so you put it up there. Master,
Degrees.
lock, toast,
Key master.
key master.
Degree.
And the gatekeeper, Vince Cortho.
Yep.
That is correct.
Degree.
Perfect. And a degree. Very nice. I like that. And what were the results of this? You don't know yet because you just did it yesterday, right?
Right.
Well, let's pretend. Let's go ahead and decide what are the results going to be of the work that Dan did yesterday.
Superior.
They're going to be superior. What Dan's going to do is he's going to come in like Superman and save the world.
They're going to confiscate it.
They're going to confiscate it? They're gonna confiscate your information, Danny, probably because it's way too truthful.
I wanna take it.
Okay, cool. Now, here's what we do. Dan, I think we've got all that written down. Now, we're gonna write a joke about Dan's day yesterday, where he filed something. Dan said he filed a special master report, and the results are going to be that everyone in Vail is going to be so happy with their condos that they're never going to have to pay another penny again. So Dan, what kind of file do you think you did? Let's change it a little bit. Say you're just filing. I was sitting at my desk, I had to file.
I like
and-
X-Files.
There you go. You like X-Files? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was sitting at my desk, I had filing to do. I was on episode 7 of the X-Files. The one where Mulder and Scully have to write a special education master report. And it saved the world. Okay, let me see what I would do with this. I would say, I was working because I had a special master report due. It was actually such a special master report, it was no longer a master, it was a lieutenant colonel. I was sitting at my desk, I wanted to make sure that the filing was done. And once my nails looked perfect, I went down and I submitted it to the court. They batted it and volleyed it over the net a few times. And eventually, they came out 0 love. And everyone at the condominiums, 0 loved me. It was just a quick workout, but still. Dan, thank you.
First one point out.
Now we can make that quicker and shorter and really trim that down a little bit, but it's all there. It's always there. No matter what you are doing, there's something funny about it. So that is just a really simple example. In those worksheets that I handed out, there are all kinds of tips and exercises and stuff that you can play with while you're doing that. In the meantime, we can go into this in a lot more detail, but as you can see, it's going to take a little bit more time than what we had, because when we worked on Dan's thing, we only had about 10 seconds to actually put it together. You can put together a much funnier joke. Use the humor. Use it, don't force it, let it come simply, and I think you will find that the world's a lot funnier place than what you think it is.